So I was in a casino once. I don't want to get into the name of the casino so I just don't want to be bothered with no bullshit. But let's just put it this way: I take a $500 chip. You understand? I put it on the outside. I'm playing roulette. I put it on red. Okay, so the ball starts spinning. Some degenerate, drunken kid. He was a young kid in his 20s. I couldn't believe this. I couldn't believe what I witnessed. Walks up to the table, takes the $500 chip, puts it in his pocket like it's his money, and just like walks away. Right? Okay. So obviously, I grab the kid, I throw him to the floor. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Get the f off me." I'm like, "Give me my money." So okay. The long story short, security comes, the pit boss, everybody runs over to break it up. I explained to him, I said, listen, I had $500. I said, look at the cameras. I bought a $500 chip on red. This friggin' Mama Luke's do not comes over here, takes the $5 chip, puts it in his pocket, walks away. So they're like, is this true? Is this true? He's not answering them. They're like, look, we're going to check the cameras. I can't believe that they did this. You're not going to believe this. This is some crazy stuff, okay? So long story short, um, they come back to me an hour later and they're like, you were right what you said. We saw that this, guy who was obviously intoxicated took your $500 chip, okay, off the table, put it in his pocket. I said, great, can I have my $500 back? They said, no. So I'm like, excuse me? They said, no, you can't have it back. I'm like, why is that? They said, well, because you bet red. And at the end of the bet, it was black. Black. So you would have lost your $500 anyway. We're keeping the 500. So I said, no, 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 no. I said, there's something called a final bet when the dealer will say no more bets. That's what she says. So in other words, during that duration of time, you could either take that chip off of the table or you can move it. You have the option to change your mind. You could go from red to black. I mean, this is simple, like, like 101 gambling. And it just goes to show you how corrupt the casinos are, how corrupt they are. Okay? Because if it was any other, I bet you $1 million. I bet you $1 million that if I would have won that bet, you understand? Like if it would have hit red, then they would have just gave me back my chip. They would have said, look, 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 we're not going to pay you because it's a no bet. They would have said it's a no bet. The kid obviously took your chip, but here's your original five. So in other words, they wouldn't have given me $1,000 because I would have won. They would have just gave me back my $500 chip. But because black came out, they had the excuse. They're like, well, you would have lost that bet anyway. But I'm like, she didn't call final bet. They're like, no, she did call final bet. I'm like, she didn't. She didn't go. I said, by the time this guy took the chip, the ball was still in motion. I had the option. I could have took that chip off the table. I explained to them. They're like, yeah, but you probably wouldn't have done that. But I'm like, how do you know? You were psychic? Do you have a crystal ball? That's the whole point of giving me that option is that it wasn't called. It wasn't a final bet. I had it was my prerogative. If I wanted to take that chip off, if I wanted to move it to black anyway, they'd give me back my money. It's just this whole world we're living in is the world of corruption everywhere you look, especially casinos.